What is going on, chill investors, guys? We are super excited. We have our indicator. All right, we are rolling it out. All right, it's been out there in beta. I'm ready to put it out there. All right, guys. So I just want to go through it, kind of show you guys with the market going off, what we're looking at here. All right. So we had our buy indicators coming in. So our diamonds are going to be our buy indicators, and we have some trim indicators. If you see, our main time frame is going to be our daily time frame because we're looking for those bigger swings, right? We want to make those bigger returns, just like this one right here. Okay, let's go ahead, take a look. Let me go ahead and grab our tool. Measuring. Where is it? Where is our tool? Nope. There it is. Price range. All right, you bought somewhere right here on these days on these yellows. Diamond confirmation came into play. We'll buy here in the middle, and let's just say you sold somewhere in this middle. All right, so diamond confirmation sold somewhere in this day in the middle. All right, you got 122% return. Okay, same thing here. You bought somewhere in this middle point, right in this zone. You bought. Just so you know, the gray diamonds are neutral zone. I'm not making any action here. All right. I'm looking for the bigger waves. If you don't want those bigger waves, then just ignore. You can go ahead and make the transaction. That's what they're there for. But for us our strategy and everything, that's a neutral zone, right? I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the bigger ones. Okay. So where are we going? We're probably going where our target says at this top resistance. Once we break out of this channel here, um, we have another 115% return off our buy alert. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Now, if I get a candle or an orange candle with a diamond of some sort earlier, sure, I'll trim it. It'll be somewhere in this other zones. Somewhere here, maybe the 91% return. I'm still super happy with that. There's a few other ones we can go take a look at. All right. Um, let's take a look. I mean, I think we just got some on Soundhound too. Sure enough. Okay, you got some green diamonds here. Go ahead and buy. We had a little upside, came back down, and now we're going right back up to the moving average. All right. Typically, our also rule when we fall underneath this moving average, we're going to go ahead and switch to the weekly time frame. Just to give us a bigger picture, just because it's less frequent. As you can see, when you go ahead and get that green diamond on the weekly time frame, it leads to a really big gain. All right, so weekly time frames can be pretty big, but I want to make sure you are close to that moving average when you are looking at the weekly time frame. If you time the top, but we're not going to ever time the top, we're going to go ahead and time this momentum diamond to the downside. That'd been 117% return on there. That's a great return, guys. All right. Another one would be like Iren. I mean, if you take the weekly green diamonds, guys, buy here. Purple is a sell all moment. Okay. Sell everything. That's a 600% return if you just do it in the middle. 700% return, somewhere in there. Okay, you got 600%. Now we're going back up. You can go back to the daily time frame if you wanted to. We're starting to enter this buy zone. As you can see, the light green, we're entering a buy zone. Okay, so up to you whether or not you want to buy those, but the big opportunities are these neon green and yellow opportunities. As you can see, we're under this moving average. So that's why when I said, if you take a look, here is that weekly when we're under that moving average on the daily time frame. Go ahead and buy the weekly if you like the company. Okay. If you like the company, not financial advice, right? You just got to go ahead. If you believe in the company, you can follow the indicator. Okay. We have ABCL. Okay. Same thing. You're under the moving average. Okay. Again, when did you start paying attention to it and everything is a big factor. But if we switch here, we got green diamonds, boom, boom, boom. We break out of the auto trend lines. Our indicator draws the trend lines for you. You don't have to chart anything. I can click on any chart right here and it's going to go ahead and draw trend lines for me. Okay, there's the breakout. Where's the old trend line? Here's the old resistance. So where does that leave us on this breakout potential? Well, let's go up here. We got somewhere in this 90% return since our two buy alerts, right here where we currently are, 90% return. And if you bought an additional 745, I think is where we bought in our group, you would get a nice like 115% return. Okay. SoFi, if you did SoFi for a while, I mean, you got buy alerts down here, boom, go ahead and wait. And if you wait for that weekly one, because it fell under that moving average or was right there, boom, and we finally got some weeklies up top. Okay. That's how the indicator works. It's really easy. The zones tell you exactly where you are on the company. Should I be buying this? Well, it's kind of in a sell zone. It's not undervalued. You don't want to go chasing companies that completely aren't undervalued, right? You want to wait for the opportunity to present itself because every stock will give you an opportunity. You just need to wait. So now I can keep flicking back and forth between these companies and finding, oh, we got a diamond on Zeta, okay, or Oscar, sorry, diamond on Oscar. So now what do we have? We have potential with a diamond of momentum to get up here towards this trend line in the 25s. Okay. So depending on when you bought during the week, daily there was confirmations. Our last buy I think was like 16.25. That's going to be another 50% return to the top to the upside channel. Okay. Again, you'll get confirmations to the when the momentum flips. If you see it hitting the top of the trend line and you want to get out because that's just the top, go ahead and sell. Can it break through? Absolutely. Are you mad or upset with your 50% return? Not at all. Same thing. We did the same thing with Rocket Lab. Okay, we sold. Okay, the whole video on it, but on the daily time frame, there's your chart. Okay, sure enough, we bought down here. We did nothing here, neutral. I didn't do anything here because I figured, we're pretty close to the top of the trend line. We probably got more room. But if you did trim then, okay, you bought here and you trim somewhere here. That is a 75% return. Where did we trim? We trimmed at like 84 something. So we did the 100% return and went ahead and trimmed or sold it. We're at the top. This resistance can happen. Look, it did it last time. It danced a couple times up here until it fell to the bottom of the channel. We're just going to wait for it to come back to the bottom of the channel. Just keep repeating the process. When you lose structure, again, do it on companies you believe in. So that way, if anything was to happen, any sort of market correction that's unplanned or anything like that, and you just can't see it coming, go ahead, make sure it's a company you like and own, and you can just hold through that. Once you fall under the moving average, go ahead and follow the higher time frames, the weeklies, the monthlies. Okay, go ahead and fire that, because if you take a look here at monthly on NVO right now, we are about, and I will click to the other indicator. You can see momentum here. You got the MACD going to flip. Okay, boom. We're going to go ahead and flip this momentum. Probably next month, I would assume, is going to be the month that this becomes a green diamond. The last time this came into play, a diamond of bullishness, was back in 2017. Okay, and when you get that bullishness on the monthly, go ahead and buy, because you got yourself a nice, on this one, sell all button came at 673% return. Okay. These are big plays, guys. These are amazing opportunities that are presenting themselves. If you join our Discord, there is a daily a bot that tells you a bullish diamond came out or a bearish diamond came out, just on the daily time frame. That is to get your eyes to go look at the chart, go see what you like. If you like the company, if you don't like the company, then don't do anything, right? It doesn't make sense. Don't do it. But there are plenty of companies with plenty of examples here. If you went ahead and bought EOSE during these time frames, I mean, if you bought at the high, we'll just say you're currently up 427% with nothing selling on the monthly time frame. Okay. Now, monthly is always going to be a longer time frame as far as like looking outward, right? So it's just going to be a buy and long-term hold, or you can do the monthly, get into it, and then you can go ahead and trade. Once you recapture the moving average, then you can start trading the daily time frame, okay, and start focusing on that. But once you lose the daily or the bull bear line right here of our moving average that we have, you can go ahead, once you fall below that, keep an eye on the weekly and the monthly. You want to make sure that there is, as you can see, EOSC on the weekly is trending down. But big picture, let's big picture this thing, right? It is still slightly trending down, okay, right here, but we have not lost momentum. If we lost momentum on the monthly, right, then we're going to go ahead, and that diamond should go ahead and trigger for us because we are in a sell zone. So you'd want to wait. Once this flips, momentum you can see is flipped. It'll come down occasionally and come right back up. So you want to make sure it flips. That's just confirmation. We always want to wait for confirmation to happen, because unless you are comfortable just wanting to sell the stock, but you want to wait for confirmation to happen. It's better because by waiting for confirmation, you don't get out too soon and miss additional run up. But of course, you're not going to time the top, but you also wouldn't have gone as high if you would have just sold based on what you thought was the top, right? So My thought is always wait for confirmation. I'm going to miss out on a few bucks. I understand that, but if it continued going, I also would have missed out on a few bucks. You got to understand that there's both sides of this, and confirmations are exactly what we are looking for. So once you lose the average, go ahead and switch to your weekly and monthly time frames. Okay. Now there is a 2 hour time frame, but if you're not into like kind of day trading more and everything like that, I actually use once I'm in a trade in the daily time frame. This is how I do it. Okay. So once I'm in a trade in the daily time frame here, right? I'm following these indications. Gray's candles are invalid for me. Light pink is like a tiny little take a win. Maybe if I just bought some of these shares right here, let's just say, for example, I bought 1,000 shares, I would probably go ahead and trim maybe 100 shares. Like that's a very, for me, a 10% trim maybe would be like what I would do, maybe 5%, like a very small. I don't want to, but if it goes back down, I can potentially add, which it did go down. If you did it then, I don't know, it was somewhere at 7. A couple days later, you got like 660. You could have picked up and saved yourself like 40 cents or something, right? But the goal would be to go ahead and trade the daily. Now, if I'm on the daily and I start getting into these zones right here where I'm like, okay, I do want to start seeing if I can get closer to this top instead of waiting for the daily confirmation, we can go ahead and switch to this 2 hour. And here you go. You're going to get more signals. Okay, didn't mean to draw that. You're going to get more signals. It's more touchy. It's meant to be able to capture these little things like a buy, sell. Okay, they didn't get undervalued enough, but there's a buy, sell, right? Sell, sell, sell. It's going to be a little bit more trigger happy. Okay. But once you realize that I base my 2 hour off of my daily. Okay. So once I see that the daily has started entering a buy zone, that's when I start looking at the 2 hour potential buy zone so I can get in maybe a little earlier. So for example, here, that little buy dip right at the moving average came in on Thursday the 5th. Okay. Thursday, June 5th. And if I go to the daily time frame, when did that moving average come into play? This one right here. June 5th was the 2 hour. June 10th came in on the daily. Okay. So you get to buy 5 days sooner right here. So 2 days sooner. Is that 3 days sooner? July 5th. Anyway, right here. You get to buy, well, you buy that day, 1, 2, 3. 3 days sooner based on the market days. And get a little bit better of an entry. If that makes sense to you guys, just make sure you see where the daily is to then drop down to your 2 hour. Okay. And then once you lose your 2 hour daily combo above the moving average, when you drop below this, you then switch to your weekly and monthly time frame. If you don't get a signal on the weekly, monthly, but you recaptured the 200, go ahead and switch back to your 2 day or your 2 hour and your daily time frame. Okay. That's what I got for you guys. The market is booming. I am enjoying it as well, but make sure you take your profits, okay, guys? Don't miss out. If you don't know when to take your profits and you need help with the confirmations and everything, join our free Discord. Give the trial, give the indicator a trial run, because this would have saved you guys, and I'm assuming a lot of you, during October. During this opportunity here of getting out and dropping a nice 30-40% after October would have saved a lot of us. And the only way to save yourself with confirmations is going to go ahead and sign up for our indicator, guys. The automatic trend lines is an amazing tool that helps us find support. You don't have to do anything. I could plug in any ticker right now, go to our 1,000 stock ticker watch list, I'm sure, and I can go ahead and click on any of these that would go ahead and tell me exactly where trends are. So if I go to U or whatever energy company I believe it is, I don't think I've charted it. Sure, there. All right, there's your trend. You're getting buys on the bottom of this trend line. So it's usually a good opportunity to present itself, right? So boom, boom, there's 3 touches, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches off of the bottom trend line. And sure enough, we bounced right off of it, okay? That is how the auto trend lines work. I get to like quickly just look at a ticker, and sure enough, we have ourselves an opportunity. Here's Celsius. Boom, green diamond, and off we go. We did lose the support slightly. Okay, let's see what the weekly looks like. Okay, really super undervalued on the weekly. You can see this was coming up. So look here. That's what I mean. And then it quickly recaptured the daily. So if that's what I mean, where it's like, okay, you did lose it, you wouldn't have bought, but once you recaptured it, you can go ahead and get back in, wait for confirmation of a bounce off a trend line, maybe. Like that's what this is for. You got a buy alert, we got momentum, you're in a buy zone. You can see right here, take a look. We have the MACD. What has it been telling us since here? It crossed to the upside and we've been trending up this whole time. Okay. What did momentum do? We got bullish divergence here. Price was going down, but momentum was going up. So therefore, we saw a rotation happening. So look for these. Here's a bearish divergence. Stock was going up, but momentum was going down. Therefore, later on, the stock went down. Okay. That's what I got for you guys. Join the Discord below. It's completely free to join the Discord. There are free charts uploaded every day. Go ahead and join, and then go ahead and try the trial for our TradingView custom indicator. It is doing amazing work, and you will see the results in the Discord. All right, guys. Thank you. Talk to you guys later.